Hello, one, hello, all, and welcome to Similori Field, folks. It is absolutely electric here. We have a beautiful Friday night. I am Greg Moreno. I am the voice alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and folks, we are about to bring you quarterfinal baseball action. Some Bulldogs baseball playoff action here on Friday night. They had to buy in the first round, folks. This is the quarterfinals. You can put it and say however you would like to, folks. Winner take all, do or die, win or go home. However you want to say it, you can say it. The team that loses today's season is over. The Bulldogs have had a simple, I'm going to quote them, have had a simple mantra all season long, and that is win the day. I have watched this team for the past hour and a half warm up. They appear calm. They appear ready. They appear like it's any other game this season. They took the field. This is the first 20-game winner in a long time, folks, and I mean almost 20 years. I do believe Coach Ron Sposato was on the last 20-game winner. This game, it all culminates here tonight, folks. It all comes down to this. If they can't, whichever team can't put it together for 7 innings, this is it for the season. There's 6 seniors on the Bulldogs side of things, and there's 5 seniors on the Tigers side. One of those sets of seniors, this is it, folks. This is going to be their last game. So talk about pressure. Well, I'll tell you what, the Bulldogs don't appear to have that much pressure on them. I have stats. I have numbers. I have so much information I'm going to bring you guys tonight around all the excitement that they're going to bring us. Starting on the hill for the Bulldogs, who other than in an elimination game, I call it an elimination game, in a quarterfinal game, winner take all, would you want on the mound other than your senior, your leader, number 7, Dean Pons Jr. Quick recap on his season, which has been pretty ridiculous, folks. He has had 7 starts, 6 complete games. So he's taken the mound in the first inning 7 times, and he's completed the game 6 of those times. That's absolutely ridiculous. His ERA going into the postseason, 0.73. His record, 7 wins, no losses, with 1 save in 10 appearances. You can't do much better than that, folks. We have had the opportunity to see Dean Pons Jr. in action several times, 5 or 6 times on the year. And I'll tell you what, something about this game. Last game, he took an approach on that hill that I had not seen all season long. He took a fastball approach. He normally has a lot of movement on his cutter, more movement than I have seen a high school player have, more command of his pitches than I have seen a high school pitcher have in a long, long time. It doesn't matter what is going on around Dean Pons Jr. He takes the hill with the same approach every inning. He generally takes command of the game. I'll tell you what, he takes pace of the game. And if this Tiverton Tiger offense doesn't change up that pace, stepping out of the box, calling timeouts, and I mean as often as they can with the umpire letting them. That's what they need to do. If you see Dean getting into a rhythm, he's going to take 2 steps back, right back to that rubber and come after you. Before you know it, your at-bat is done. You didn't even know you were at bat. So, back to the basics. Here we go. Similori Field, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. Quarterfinal Rhode Island Division II playoff action right here. The winner goes on, moves on, and will play Tuesday. If the Bulldogs win, they play here on Tuesday. They will host the winner of Woonsocket and St. Raphael Academy. So the winner of that game will play the winner of this game in a 3-game series. The Bulldogs have, throughout the season, obviously, they were a continued success, 20-3 overall, 17-1 on the regular season. The number 1 seed, they had earned the right home field throughout. That's why we're here today at Similori Field. But they got to win the game to come back anywhere and play baseball. They know that. All the players are warmed up. The umpires are giving instructions to the teams. And, folks, we're about to get started. There hasn't been so much excitement around a baseball team here in a long time. They have fans wrapped around the outfield in the backs of trucks, lawn chairs. The bleachers are full. The atmosphere, the only word I can say, is absolutely electric. The Bulldogs' simple mantra, win the day. They appear out there like consummate professionals. They really do. I think I'm more nervous for the Bulldogs than they are for no reason. These 2 teams have met twice this season. In Game 1, they were 5-1 winners. And in Game 2, they were 3-2 winners. So they were close games. Dean Pons Jr. pitched a 5-1 victory. So he's obviously on the hill again today. And the Tigers are going to have to figure him out. The Tigers' ace is not starting for them today. In fact, the starting pitcher is he's a freshman. And his name is number 9, Camden Rigo. is taking the hill for the Tigers. And you got to understand, folks, that the Tigers season ended last Friday, and they've already had to play one game this week to move on. So they have essentially played two do-or-die games in a row. They had to win both of those games to get here today. They did the job. They won both of those games. So don't think for a second you're going to see a Tiverton Tiger team that is not ready. They got here a few minutes late, but they didn't rush in their warm-ups whatsoever. They took their time. They got their warm-ups in, and they're ready to take on this Bulldog squad. I'll tell you that right now. I am the voice, Greg Moreno, again, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa down the line behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we are about to bring you Westerly Bulldog Baseball quarterfinal action versus the Tiverton Tigers. It's going to be moments away, folks. Our schedule moving forward, Monday night, there is a boys volleyball playoff game, folks. We will be bringing to you live. That is Monday night at Federico Gymnasium. The schedule for the baseball team all depends on tonight, folks, because if they end up with more runs than the other squad, there will be a game here on Tuesday. If they don't, unfortunately, I don't even want to talk about that because they've had such a good haul. It's been such a long haul, and it all comes down to this. It all comes down to these games. There's nerves in the bleachers. I was just down there talking to the fans, but I'll tell you what, there doesn't seem to be nerves in that little team huddle over there. So we are super excited, and we are ready to go, folks. We are seconds away from the Bulldogs taking the field in quarterfinal playoff action, and we are bringing it to you live from Semilore Field. And here they are, folks, your 2022 Rhode Island Division 2B South champions, playing for the Rhode Island Division II championship. They've had one goal all season, folks, and it wasn't to be division champions, I'll tell you that. They have more work to do. They have more on their mind, more goals to achieve this season. On the hill, number 7, getting comfortable, arranging the mound to his liking, which I know that his coach spends hours manicuring that mound. I've never seen it actually a mound manicured by a human being as much as ours is. So as we watch Dean Pons Jr. warm up here, the Bulldogs obviously focus straight on today. They are an even base team. When I say that, I mean across the board. They are obviously junior and senior heavy. They have 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and they're bringing in 2 and 2. 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, all of which contribute. You're talking about Michael Poole, and you're talking about Jack Tenuta. They both don't play like freshmen and sophomores, respectively. But neither do a lot of the Bulldogs, and they've had contributions from everybody in different ways. Zach Beckler, across the board offensively in the state, up in the top 5, 10 in almost every category. Greg Gorman, the same. Jack Tenuta, the same. You'll find Dean Pons Jr. in one of those categories on top of the state. And it took all of that to get here today. All of those efforts. 53 steals out of 54 attempts, folks. I'm not joking. I'm bringing it to you real. These are real numbers. 53 out of 54, and it took every one of them to get here today. Because you know what? They're done. It's over and done with, and it's win or move on. And it looks like he's getting set here, folks. Couple more pitches, and we are going to be off live. First playoff action. There's a throw down by Costa on the money. It's a laser. This Bulldog team looks ready. I got to tell you, I've had my eye on them for about a couple hours now. And they look ready. They look excited. They don't look nervous in the least. And that's the aura that Dean Pons brings when he steps on the rubber. He brings a calming effect to the players around him. I've seen him enough 6 times this season, maybe 7. Here we go, folks. Westerly.live bringing it to you. Playoff action. Quarterfinal. Bulldogs baseball. Win or go home. Dean Pons Jr. first pitch. Swung on. Flared out to right. Diving. And he makes the diving catch. He does. And that's how you start it if you're a Bulldog. Greg Gorman Jr. Check the replay, folks. A sliding catch steals the hit away from the Tiverton Tiger. One pitch swinging. And that seems to be the approach if you want to have any chance against Dean Pons Jr. It's go after him early in the count because he gets ahead quickly, and before you know it, you're done. Right up on the plate, the number 2 hitter for the Tigers. And that 0-1, 1-0 the count, 1 out, nobody on. An active Tigers dugout. Loud swing and a miss on the fastball. One of the best cutters I have seen, most motion on a cutter, and his placement, I don't know if I'm aging myself. I don't know if he knows who he is. Here's the pitch, folks, 1-1. And that's inside, called strike. Batter looked like it was inside, but he's got some extra pop on his fastball. It's crazy because a lot of pitchers get tired as the season goes on, and I'm watching a pitcher here in front of me that's just gotten stronger every game. I'm not making it up and in, brings the batter down to the ground. Maybe a little intimidation. Who knows? 2-2 the count. One out. Nobody on here, folks. This is playoff action. The Bulldogs 20-3, 17-1. Okay, that's all done. They got to win to move on to host the semifinal series. And that's where their sights are set upon. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Strikes him out. 2 down. 2 up, 2 down for the Bulldogs as they throw it around. And Dean Pons Jr. earns the first strikeout of the night on the second batter. Number 16 steps in for the Tigers. Jason Potvin, a junior, stands tall. Every batter has stood up and in on the plate, I'm noticing. Not necessarily up, but in on the plate. Setting up outside his Costa. Fastball swings the foul ball out to the right. 0-1, quickly ahead. Beautiful night we have. Weather couldn't be more perfect. Nothing could be more perfect than the way the season has culminated into this right now. And this Bulldog team is about to show you what they are all about. 0-1 pitch. And that was a breaking ball. Nice cut on it. Handcuffed him. 0-2, 2 outs, nobody on. Pons looking to make it a quick first inning. And he is more than capable of making it a quick entire game before you know it. The pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, nice curveball. He is excited, folks, and the Bulldogs go as Dean Pons Jr. goes. His calming effect is the same as his energizing and his fired up effect. You know what? He never allows his team to get, I don't know the adjective, befuddled, discombobulated, to get in their own heads. He doesn't allow it because he shows such calmness on the hill. I've seen his approach when that bat didn't go his way, and 2 seconds later, there's 3 outs, and he's got to take the hill. He's got to take the rubber, and he's got to erase that at bat because you know what? Next year, he's heading to Rick, and he's going to pitch at the next level, which he's already doing. He's already pitching next level pitching. There's no question about that. But he's heading to Rick, and he doesn't have to worry about his at-bats. But he already has that capability of erasing any negative, regrouping in any scenario before it gets out of hand. I haven't seen him allow a situation to get out of hand all season long. Great start for the Bulldogs. 1, 2, 3, 2 strikeouts for Pons. And the Bulldogs ready for their first at-bat of the 2022 postseason. And as you should know, they received a bye in the first round into this quarterfinal single elimination game. The Tiverton Tigers had to beat Mount St. Charles, and in doing so, it does appear as though they definitely used their ace. Bulldogs were expecting their number 2 pitcher, but have not seen this freshman. And to throw a freshman in an elimination game, man, that is definitely a nerve-wracking position to be in if I were him. And that's going to be number 9, as I mentioned earlier, Camden Rigo. Folks, this production is brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RI. Go to Westerly.live for more details. A premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center, Westerly Live, and 321 Media. Valenti Subaru sales and service located at Dunn's Corners. Westerly RI, Valenti means value. With over 90 years in the auto business, the Valenti family knows how to keep customers happy. Service with honesty, integrity, and a smile are the cornerstone our business is built upon. And the throwdown by the Tigers. We're getting ready to go for bottom of the first inning action. The Bulldogs' first postseason at-bats. And none other than Dean Pons Jr. to lead things off. Good following on both sides of the field, folks. And he steps in, the pitcher. Facing the freshman, senior versus freshman. To start things off here, catcher sets up outside. Straight fastball, not too much pop on it. Not a lot of movement either. Fastball right over the middle, let it go, and it's 0-1 count. Got to get a look at him, obviously. Again, the catcher moving outside early for the batter. And that's going to be low. Ball 1-1 the count. So these Bulldogs batters, they're wise. They're good hitters. They're going to make you throw. They're going to get a look at you. It's a freshman. Clearly, he's never been in this position. We have a freshman as well, Michael Poole. And over the plate it is, and fouled to the left. Ahead of it, the velocity, like I said, is not a lot of velocity on the pitch. The Bulldogs are going to have to kick back a little bit more on their back foot and wait another hitch, maybe. And Pons, 1-2 count, leadoff hitter. Bottom of the first inning, Similary Field, quarterfinal, Rhode Island Division II playoff action. And he drives it into left center. That's going to be 2. At least it beats both outfielders. They pick it up at the warning track. They fire it in. Dean Bonds Jr. is fired up at second base. The pitcher, the hitter, leads the Bulldogs off. Just like that, runner in scoring position against this freshman, and that has to be nerve-wracking for the freshman. Leadoff hitter, you're a freshman. Elimination game. 1-2 pitch. It was just a flat fastball. Got way too much at the plate. Here's number 17, Greg Gorman. And folks, I'm going to give you some state stats in the top of the state. And the intentional walk goes to Greg Gorman. Why waste the pitches? The base is empty. They don't want damage done. But I'll tell you right now, folks, you're bringing up Zach Beckler. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Zach Beckler, folks. He's batting .431. He's batting .431 is Zach Beckler. And you're walking to get into him. So the catcher sets up outside. That's a tough team, the Bulldogs, if you're getting walked into. And that's going to be low, ball 1. You're batting .431, and the batter in front of you walks. That's just let's see how Beckler responds. The Bulldogs' weapons immediately. First 2 hitters on base. Pons absolutely drove that to right center. Like I said, if they wait back on that back foot, this pitcher might not be long for service. 2-0 the count, especially if he gets behind these Bulldogs hitters. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I have statistics I'm going to go through, and these are amongst the entire state, Rhode Island Division 2. And you're going to hear the name Zach Beckler, you're going to hear the name Greg Gorman, you're going to hear the name Jack Tenuta in every category, and Dean Bonds Jr. sprinkled in one as well. He takes a strike, 2-1 the count. Zach Beckler, the number 21, the senior, shortstop for the Bulldogs, another leader on this squad. Leads the state in stolen bases. And that's right over the heart of the plate. Gets under it. Pops it up. Tough one to track. They're running. I don't know if they're going to get there. And they are able to get there. Nobody able to move because it was so shallow. So 1 out. Nice job by number 12 of the Tigers, Jordan Pinnell. I really think that Wesley would have been stuck either way because if he fell, Gorman wouldn't have made it to second base. So regardless, 1 out on the board. Runners on first and second for the Bulldogs. In steps number 10, Shep Simmons, the junior third baseman for the Bulldogs. And the Bulldog dugout is loud. 1 out. Pons in scoring position. First pitch, strike called. 0-1 the count. I would be surprised if the Bulldogs don't come around after one time through the lineup and seeing this freshman, if they don't do damage prior to that. Ooh, tough call. Called a ball. Looked like it ended up right about where the last fastball was. That was a breaking pitch. I think we're looking around the high 60s here, maybe in that vicinity. Sets up outside, and the pitch stays outside, and that's a called ball. So back ahead in the count, 2-1, 1 out, 2 on for the Bulldogs. Bottom of the first inning, folks. If you're just joining us, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, Similary Field, Bulldog baseball, quarterfinal playoff action. Doesn't get bigger than this, folks. You win or you go home. All of your efforts all season long, foul straight back, 2-2 the count. All of your efforts all season long come down to this 7 innings of play unless more are needed. There's a set of seniors, folks, 6 on our side, 5 on their side. One of those groups, this is it. This is their last high school game. This is not a series. You need to earn your right into the next series, which will be your opponent, as I said earlier, will be either Mount Pleasant or St. Ray's. They are playing in the same scenario in a quarterfinal, winner-take-all scenario themselves. So 2-2 the count, 1 on. Bulldogs runners on, first and second. Pons getting a lot of attention at second. Over the plate, swinging a miss. Mistimed it, gets the strikeout, a little up in the zone. 2 down for the Bulldogs, so the freshman, 2 guys on, nobody else. Suddenly there's 2 outs and 2 men on. Jack Tenuta, the sophomore, number 22, the sophomore phenom, and I can say that. I definitely can say that. He's definitely got numbers that are not sophomore. Like he's batting .429 on the season, and he's tied for the team and state high with 5 home runs. First pitch over the plate. And they're taking a strike. They're getting a view at him, getting the eye on the speed. Quickly getting down 0-1 here. 2 outs. Bulldogs just looking for maybe a single if they can tuck one in here in the first. Runner stranded in the playoffs comes back to haunt you, folks. And the pitch. And that's check swing ball. Ball 1. That was upstairs. 1-1 the count. The winner of this game, if the Bulldogs win this one, folks, they will be hosting on Tuesday. They will be dormant until Tuesday. But we'll be bringing you some volleyball action on Monday night. The pitch, Tenuta takes upstairs. Good eye by Tenuta. Comes back, and the count now 2-1. Getting more towards a hitter's count. And Tenuta on the hill and at bat. He does it both ways. He's a two-headed monster here as a sophomore. He hasn't lost a game on the hill either. A slide step, and that's going to be outside. Called strike. Looked like that one hung away, but that evens up the count 2-2. He has called that area thus far in the first. Right up on the box now is Tenuta with 2 strikes. 2-2, folks. Let's see if the Bulldogs can capitalize here. Bottom of the first. And the 2-2 pitch. He checks swing, steal on both ends, and he's in at third. Yes! Both Bulldogs are in, and they are frustrated here. The Tigers, the double steal, pounds in safely. Suddenly the Bulldogs, 2 runners in scoring position. The pitch was a ball. The count is full. The coach is coming out to argue. It will be to no avail generally, but the tag didn't come down. He is explaining. And now a full count, a base open. What do they do? I know what you don't do, and that's to give him a strike. You don't do that, but maybe if you're a freshman, you make a mistake and do that. That's what the Bulldogs are hoping for. In reality, they should just point him back on his way, but then you're doing the same thing because the Bulldogs just have threat after threat. So full count, 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Bottom of the first inning. We already have fireworks here, folks. We are not even 1 inning in. The payoff pitch. Swings, pops it up, foul, out of play. He's under it, a little bit ahead. Way to stay alive. The crowd is still filling in. Cars around the outfield. Not overly windy. The Bulldogs can attack you in many ways, and stealing most definitely is one of them. And the payoff pitch, he gets under it and fouls that one back and out of play. Again, ahead of it and under it. Way to protect the plate, though, and a new life again for Tenuta. Number 22 steps in, gets comfortable. Here we go, folks. We got 2 runners in scoring position, 3-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the first. And that pitch in is chipped, and it's going to be a single. He goes the other way with it, and they're going to send Gorman. We have a relay, we have a play at the plate, and they both score. The throw goes wild, and he's going to get second base, and they get Jack Tenuta, and the team is going wild. Here in the first inning, what a pressure-packed moment for the no-nerve sophomore, number 22, Jack Tenuta, just reaching out to the outside pitch, which was a strike. He was ahead of it, and he still managed to reach out and put it in the opposite field where it had to go. Both runs scored. Gorman, man, I haven't seen him run that fast ever. Apparently he's got wheels, and he can throw that into his ways he can attack you as well. So the Bulldogs do not waste that leadoff 2 runners on with nobody out. In fact, both of them score. The score is 2-0 Bulldogs. Costa in the catcher, Travis Costa. The never forgotten player by me, I'll tell you that right now. That pitch stays away 1-1. A 7-inning game for him is like 21 in the pitcher-catcher world. And he, folks, made it through the entire regular season without an error. That is just unheard of from your catcher and needs to be heard of if you're a listener or if you're a fan. You need to know that if you have that behind the plate and you have that coming back. Just way ahead of it on that one, swing and a miss. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Tenuta at second base, but the Bulldogs already on the board with 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and that's got to rattle a freshman. That's got to make him nervous. That's got to make him frustrated, and that all comes down to Coach Posato's guts in calling that double steal. And the pitch stays upstairs. I mean, I'll tell you what, it takes something to call a double steal like that in the bottom of the first inning. He did. It wasn't a hit and run because Tenuta let the pitch go. It was a ball low, and it was a great slide, great wheels, great jump by Pons. He was gathering their attention the entire time on second base. 2-2 count, 2 outs to the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. So the Tigers will end the first, and the freshman will head back to the dugout shaking his head. Almost snuck his way out of it, but he didn't. Folks, joining us, Similar Field, quarterfinal, playoff action, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and the Bulldogs tuck in 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning to take a quick lead after 1 inning of play by the score of 2-0. Dean Pons Jr. started things off, leadoff double into the left center gap. Heads back to the rubber. He's going to have to wait for his companion, Costa, to suit back up as he was the last hitter. And he gets no break. Has his at bat. He's got to put his equipment on, and he's got to head back he's got to get down there and do the grunt work. Very little warm-ups does Pons do prior to each inning as well. He throws a couple pitches, few pitches at most, full speed, and then he's ready to roll, wants to pitch again. And I'll tell you what, like I said, that's just got to calm if there were any nerves the Bulldogs had, and that allows them to play the same game they've been playing all year. Jack Tenuta, what a sophomore phenom, man. He's going to be here for 2 more years. Next year, you have 9 returning players that are here on the field today. So by no means are they not going to be a quality squad next year, but forget next year. They have high hopes of this year. In fact, all this team is focused on is today. Win the day. And when you can stay in that focus in anything in life, really, I'll tell you that, you can be pretty successful. And to see a bunch of high school kids, young men, because the way they carry themselves, this team, they carry themselves as young men. They really do. And to be able to take that approach in life and in sports, I'll tell you what, that's fantastic to see, and I'm seeing it in action already in the playoffs. I think I was more nervous than these guys coming in. So here we go. We're exchanging balls. He wants a new one for the inning. And the lead off to the top of the second inning, trailing by 2 runs for the Tigers, is number 7, Devin Pironi, a senior. One of the 5 seniors that the Tigers field. And right up on the plate again, that must be the approach. They want to challenge him, and Pons stays on that side of the rubber as well. And a swing and a miss on the fastball. Letter high. Pons often uses the inside portion of the rubber. When I mean inside, I mean the Bulldogs dugout side, my left, the catcher's left. And these batters are right on the plate, and he is not going to throw away from you. And he lets that one go. Must have been low. Didn't get the call. 1-1 the count. And the offering. And that stays upstairs by a little bit, 2-1. Right back on the rubber, ready to go, and in action, here we go, the pitch. And that's there, and he swings on it, he's got a gap. Nope, left fielder fielding it beautifully by the Bulldogs. And he reins it in. That's going to be a 7 unassisted for the first out of the inning. Didn't see him for a second, and it was right at it. Got pretty good contact on it, I must say. But just ended up as a lazy fly ball, essentially, and only a few pitches for the first out. So Dean Pons keeping his pitch count down, and the Tigers catcher stepping in. Getting the sign and the offering. And that's going to be a called strike. Umpire likes that spot, and he's using it evenly, so right up on the plate as well, number 25. Christopher Latendry, swing fouled away. 2 strikes. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is Dean Pons Jr. 1 down, nobody on. Top of the second inning. Playoff action here at Similar Field. It's electric. You can see the cars lining the field all the way from left field to center. All the bleachers are full. Swing fouled back. Catcher catches it. Costa does the job. Strikeout for Pons. They throw it around. 2 up, 2 down, and the Bulldogs are starting to get into a little bit of groove here. And they are a dangerous team when they're in the groove, folks. Number 12 steps in, Jordan Pinnell, the junior. And again, you can't forget that this team has just played another game. Another tough game they had to play, a do-or-die game. They've played 2 do-or-die games. This is the 3rd in a row. And it's against the best team and the best pitcher that they've seen out of all 3 do-or-die games. So if the Tigers do somehow pull this off, that is one heck of a feat. The beast of the Bulldogs right back up the middle, over the head. Can Beckler vacuum it up? He does, and it bobbles it a little bit at second base. So that's going to go in as an infield hit, as he was behind second base when he tried to field it. So the first base runner of the day for the Tigers. At first base with 2 outs, in steps number 5, Kyle Rogers, a freshman.
Kyle Rogers.
For the Tigers, the lefty freshman with a runner on first and 2 down. From the stretch comes Pons for the first time of the day. Several different offerings. He has a full kick, swing and a miss, strike one. He has a full kick, 3/4. He can do a slide step. He has a quick step back move. Multitude of ways of keeping you near first base and your stealing options at a minimal. Slide step right there. He just showed you one of them. Quickly ahead, 0-2. He had a full kick, then a slide step. Makes it very difficult on a batter to time the pitch and to get a precise amount of time with your vision on the ball when you don't know remotely how long that windup's going to take. Just another weapon that sometimes slips by the viewers of ponds. Full kick. And when you throw a full kick, you're going to get a break like that. A huge break, you're going to get a little bit more pop. It's all leverage. It's all on that back foot, and there's nobody better in the state, really, than Dean Pond Jr. than using all of that timeout called by the batter on the rubber. He picks his spots. He's quickly ahead here. 1-2, 2 outs. And the pitch, breaking ball away, waved at it, strike three, fourth strikeout of the day. I do believe, I'm trying to keep track, and that is, we'll say 7 up and 6 down for the Tigers so far. Pond's in a groove, the Bulldogs in a groove. We are 1.5 deep, 2-0 Westerly, and Westerly getting set for their second at bat, and they have just about batted around the order. We're heading to the 9-hitter, I do believe, and then we're going to spin the top, and the Bulldogs will get their second look at things. This production, folks, is also brought to you by Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Dunkin', cell phone sales, service, and repair. Strategia, social media management, search engine optimization. Local company with local strategies to help your company stand out on the web. Remy Cycles, bicycle sales and service in downtown Westerly. 53 Railroad Avenue, cycling accessories, the latest in electric bike technology. Stellar customer service, everything needed to enjoy your cycling adventures. Teddy's Toys, also located in downtown Westerly. 53 Railroad Avenue, modern toys, classic toys, board games, model buildings, stuffed animals. And McQuaid's Ace Hardware, your family-owned hardware store located on Franklin Street in Westerly, RI. Summer lawn maintenance tools and outdoor furniture. If they don't sell it, folks, you don't need it. That's McQuaid's Ace Hardware. And we are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing you quarterfinal Bulldog baseball action live here at Similori Field. Folks, if they hang on, it's only the bottom of the second inning. If they end up winning this one, they have earned home field, so they will be back right here on Tuesday in the semifinals, the Final Four, in a best-of-3 series, trying to earn a right to play for the state championship, which we all know is their total goal. But their mantra is win the day, and today, the setup, folks, you got to win the day. You have to win the day. As I said, there's different ways of looking at it. Winner take all, do or die, win or go home, whatever way you want to phrase it. You have to win today to play again. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter that the Bulldogs won 20 games. It doesn't matter they were 17-1 in the season at the moment. It does in the fact that they're here playing at Similori. But besides that, they got to win the day today. And leading off for the Bulldogs is number 12. That'd be Drew Bozek, who lined in for that fly ball easily in left field, and I thought had hit a gap. He lined up perfectly last inning. Will lead off the inning here, bottom half of the second. First pitch, nice little movement on that one for a strike over the plate. 0-1 the count. Freshman back on the hill. Shadows will start to creep in the next couple innings, and that's right over the plate. Ahead of it, swing and a miss. So these batters, remember, still have not seen this pitcher yet. They're way ahead. And, I mean, even Tenuta was ahead by his athleticism and he's such a quality hitter overall. He was able to push it off into right field where it belonged. Stays outside for a ball, 1-2 the count. It was right on the outside edge of the plate. He was ahead of it, but he waved at it with enough strength, and he plated the 2 runs. He's got 2 RBIs here, and his first quarterfinal action, varsity action. And this is the first playoff varsity action for a lot of these Bulldogs. And a swing, he's under it, pops it up, and it's going to be out of play. And a lot of these Bulldogs are under it, and it's really good to see that they pocketed those 2 runs. When you got 2 on and nobody out in the playoffs, especially in your first inning, if you were to end up with none, that's a little deflating. It would not have deflated Pons. He seems unaffected by just about anything in his surroundings. And he'll drive to left field. Did they play him well? They did. Played him shallow enough to steal a hit from him. Did a good job waiting back. He made the adjustment mid-at-bat. Unfortunately, it was well played by number 2 of the Tigers, Nicholas Mercer, the junior. And in step for the Bulldogs, number 11, Evan Klein, the first baseman. He's a senior, folks, and he doesn't want this to be it. And he has contributed this season in some key spots as well. So nobody on, 1 out for the Bulldogs, number 11, Klein at bat. First pitch, upstairs, ball. 1-0. You could not get better weather. You could not get a better atmosphere. It's electric. This ballpark has not seen the likes of this type of baseball in years, folks. And I am not making that up. And that's a fly ball to right center field, tracking by the right fielder in. And they're going to vacuum that up. That's a 9 unassisted. So that will start 7 unassisted, 9 unassisted, 2 up, 2 down for the Bulldogs. And number 4, Nick Fiore, bottom end of the Bulldogs lineup. Second baseman, also a senior for the Bulldogs, will try to get things started up here with 2 outs. They've done it before this season many a time. And if you weren't here when I mentioned their 2 first matchups this season, the Bulldogs did end up 2-0, but they were ball games. 5-1, they were victorious when Dean Pounds Jr. was on the hill. When he was not, and they faced the Tigers ace, the Bulldogs did come out with a victory, but it was a 3-2 victory. So it was a close game in that one as well. This freshman has not pitched against the Bulldogs all season. And that's right up the middle at him. It goes off the glove of the freshman, knocks it towards the second baseman, and that just works out perfectly for the Tigers. 1, 2, 3, mows down the Bulldogs. Got to give credit where credit is due for this freshman. Seemed unaffected from that first inning. Camden Rigo, nice job on the hill for the Tiverton Tiger freshman. We have 2 in the books here at Similary Field, and the Bulldogs have 2. The Tiverton Tigers have 0. Both teams here in this quarterfinal matchup playing for their playoff lives. The winner moves on to play the winner of St. Ray's Mount Pleasant. So as we go on, folks, I have stats here that would just blow your mind. In the state, tied for the top in the state, 5 home runs. You got Greg Gorman, you got Jack Tenuta. On base percentage, I pulled that up for some reason. Why did I pull that up? Number 4 in the state, Greg Gorman, 573 on base percentage. Slugging percentage, I decided to pull up. What do you got? You got Greg Gorman, Jack Tenuta, 3 and 6 in the state of Rhode Island. Stolen bases, Zach Beckler, number 1, state of Rhode Island. These are just some of these players have earned in the 23 times they've taken the field. Earned run average. This is no joke, folks. 3 out of the top 4 in the state. You got Dean Pounds Jr., you got Greg Gorman, and you got Jack Tenuta. 3 out of the top 4. The only other one is Jeremy Urena, and he is responsible for the Bulldogs' only loss this season. Urena is a URI committed pitcher. Throws I heard low 90s from what I hear. Plays for Johnston. And he is the only non-Bulldog in the top 4 for earned run average in the state of Rhode Island. That's crazy. What else do I got here? Another picture of the same. So just some strikeouts. Dean Pounds Jr. Number 2, Jeremy Urena, who I'm speaking of Johnson. Coming into playoff act, coming in today, Dean Pounds Jr. had 89 strikeouts, folks. Jeremy Urena, the URI committed pitcher, in second place with 75. So Dean Pounds Jr., 14 more than the next closest to him. Jack Tenuta, he's on the bottom of this page as well. Number 7 in the state of Rhode Island with 54. So some of those stats, pretty interesting. Pretty crazy that they earned them over the course of the season. And we're getting ready to start in this dugout. This dugout is alive to my right, folks. That's the Tiverton Tiger dugout. So we got a ball game. 2 runs doesn't mean anything here. And a swing and a miss. Pop on that fastball by Dean Pounds Jr. Quickly ahead. Back straight up to the rubber. Gets his release point, gets his grip, and we're ready to roll. The pitch is in the air. And nice movement on that one. Just a little bit, just enough at the end to move off the plate. Strike 2, 0-2, and I feel a little command here. And it is a kick, and the pitch, breaking ball, strike 3. Wow. All 3 pitches had pop. All 3 pitches had movement. All 3 pitches were strikes, and all 3 pitches were misses. Great start for the inning for Dean Pounds Jr. and the Bulldogs. 1 up, 1 down, nobody on. Number 2 stepping in, Nicholas Mercer, a junior for the Tigers. Pounds Jr. ready to go already. I'm telling you, these Tigers, they all are up and in on the plate. Not necessarily up, but in on the plate. So that's something that they've wanted to do, I can see. But why none of them are stepping out, I don't know. And he's actually backed up to a normal depth in the box. Swing and a miss up top, and that is just straight fastball heat right there. Pounds Jr. showing you another weapon. Pounds Jr.'s placement is just his precision. And the fact that he can throw a fastball with pop to top it off, and as well as he can vary his speed on his pitches with movement, his cutter, his curveball. And fastball, straight pitch, swing, and a miss. 2-2 the count. This team's in deep trouble if they can't adjust to his fastball. He's getting better as we go, folks, dare I say. We are in the top of the third inning. He waves it off a couple times. 2 wave-offs, you always step out. And the swing breaks away, doesn't bite. That's just a general rule when you get a few wave-offs by a pitcher. You want to get out. You want to get him out of his groove. Pons is definitely a tempo pitcher. If he's in his tempo, you are in trouble. Pitch. Called ball, walk by Pons Jr. Very odd to see. So the dugout is alive to the right. 1 out, 1 runner on. And a good eye by Mercer to earn the walk. Stepping in, the pitcher, the freshman, Camden Rigo. Let's see if he can help his own cause. As I said, stolen base, a quick step back throw, and I told you that was one of his options. And Klein has to always be ready. But stealing off of Pons is definitely a difficult task, just because of his 3-4 different approaches to the plate. Down and in, a nice stop by Costa. Saves the runner from getting into scoring position right there. Want to know the count here. So fixing his launch pad there. Gets his sign. Checks the runner at first base. Pons is coming home. No, he's not going over, and again. Saves by a little bit. Doesn't want him to run for certain. There's no doubt about that. Klein holding him closely. Slide step, quick ground ball. And Beckler was taking second because of the steal. And that's going to get the runner around. Nobody talked to him. And the tag down. And he's out at third. And the coach is furious. The throw out by Tenuta. Just enough communication by the Bulldogs in the field. And a great job at third base by Noah Burdick getting the throw and getting the tag down. They could have had runners at the corners with 1 out. And what happened was Beckler was trying to cover second because it was a hit and run. A great call by the Tigers. A great job of hitting by the freshman pitcher who still got his hands on his head, and this team was just frustrated. And Tenuta was ready to throw into his cutoff man. At the last second, either somebody made a verbal communication with him or he noticed it out of the corner of his eye. But when he threw in mid-throw, he changed his direction and threw it in to Burdick at third base, who did one heck of a job of making a tag from behind. And that's going to be a fly ball center field, tracking it in. And he gets it to sliding catch. And the Bulldogs head to the dugout. What could have been harm was no harm. A frustrated Tiger team. And a beautiful catch by the Bulldogs, Drew Bozek, sliding in from center field. So that what was an excited Tiger dugout man might be a little bit deflated because this Bulldog team, they attack, they bite, they gnaw in a million different directions. They'll get a piece of your ankle, and then they'll go up your leg. They'll get your calf, they'll get your knee, they'll get your other side, and they'll get them from different numbers, from different places. They'll get them from different players. So who do you focus on if you're on the defense? How do you play that? It looked to me like they were for certain going to have a runner at third, but I'll tell you what, without even pointing his lead foot to third base, he put some pepper on that throw, and he put it on the money as a precise pitcher would to throw that runner out at third. There's a big difference with runners on first and third and 1 out and all the excitement from a successful hit and run to throwing them out at third and the next batter fly out, and that ends your threat. This team seems a bit deflated, and let's see if the Bulldogs can capitalize. Folks, I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside owner, producer, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa behind the lens. We are Westerly.radio, Westerly.live, and we are bringing you quarterfinal baseball action. The Bulldogs, Division 2B South champions, 17-1 in the division in the regular season, 20-3 overall. First 20 games winner since I think head coach Spazzato played. It's been a long time. The excitement's here. It is electric. The atmosphere's here. Friday night, soon enough, it'll be under the lights as the shade will set in on the field as we move along here. We're moving along pretty quickly. The Bulldogs have a 2-0 lead as it's their turn to bat here in the bottom of the third inning, and we have spun the top. We were in the bottom of the third, and we were going to lead off again with Dean Bonds Jr., who made the necessary adjustments in his first at bat and led off this game with a double. So he just has command presence, folks. And I'll talk about that when he steps on the rubber again. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to get back to that. And the first pitch drops in there. Nice little hook for a strike. 0-1 the count on Pons. And the freshman breaking ball away. Taking for a ball. But I'll tell you what, this freshman's impressive. He's bounced back. He really has. Tough first inning. They almost squeaked out of it. But he does seem a little frustrated right now. I'm not going to joke because he just had that hit between Beckler and third base, and the hit and run was on. It was successful. He was going to get that runner to third. Not so fast, the Bulldogs said. Fly in foul territory, a lot of room, and he gets there. And Pons flies out in foul territory, so the Bulldogs 1 up, 1 down. But this is where Pons he excels, and I talked about that before anything. He can just bounce back. He doesn't have to worry about it next year. They don't bat at that level pretty much for that exact reason. From then on, after this level, pitchers will not hit. But I'll tell you what, he's a hitter for the next couple weeks, and the Bulldogs need him, and they need him on the hill today. And check swing by Gorman. He went, strike 1. He's already contributed on offense. He's already run across the plate. His job now is just on the rubber for the rest of the game. At bat, Greg Gorman in the top 5 in just about every category in the state of Rhode Island. Headed to Bryant next season. And I have some other Westerly High College signees we're going to talk about because the college athletes here in Westerly this season have been tremendous. Finally a season, a bounce-back season, a season with some normality. The pitch, and he takes it. Gorman has a great eye, I will tell you that, because not a lot of pitchers want to give him good pitches, but you don't have to, and he can still put a lot of those vehicles in jeopardy out there in left field. I've seen him do it. We have brought it to you live. He's been behind in the count 0-2 more than once. He's up in the count 2-1, breaks inside ball. He will also take the walk. If you don't throw him a strike, he's going to get on base. That's why he was in the top 5 in on-base percentage in the state of Rhode Island. He's a good hitter, and he makes you throw him strikes. 3-1 count, 1 out. Bulldog looking for a base runner. And that's a strike, swinging on a ground ball, and it gets by the first baseman down the line. That should be 1. And it's going to stay as 1 as they field it in. So that's going to be a single down the line for Gorman as he really turned on it, and it stayed fair. The Bulldogs are in business, bottom of the third inning, 2-0 lead. Gorman at first base, 1 out, and Zach Beckler at bat. Beckler, folks, having a heck of a year. In 22 games, he's batting .429, folks. Excuse me, .431. Let's give him those extra 2 points. Checks him at first base, back easy. And Greg Gorman, you wouldn't think, but he leads the team in steals. I'll get to those stats. It's just crazy. Some of the numbers is just crazy. Base running. Greg Gorman. So then he turns on it, tracking deep over his head, folks, and that bounces off the fence, and Gorman's getting waved around. He'll be in easy. And that's only because the throw went over the cutoff man, Beckler. Huge double down the left field line over the head of the left fielder, right to where his numbers are displayed, where they put him up on senior night. Number 21 is on the outfield fence. He turns on it, plates another run. The Bulldogs up by 3, and a runner in scoring position with 1 out. The third baseman, number 10, Shep Simmons, at bat for the Bulldogs, and ball 1. So Beckler getting a really good piece of that one. He can put it out of here if he gets all of it, but he got just about it. Everything he needed to. He beat the outfielder immediately, and it was going right towards those numbers at 21. And 2 down towards the first baseman. He vacuums it up for the second out, but not before the Bulldogs. Beckler gets to third base. So the Bulldogs up 3-0. And no one better at bat than number 22, Jack Tenuta, already having a day in the outfield last inning. I'm telling you right now, that changed the vibe of this game and kept it on the side of the Bulldogs. That really put a pin in this Tiger team a little bit. And now the Bulldogs have added another run, an insurance run maybe, and they have a runner at third that they want to plate here with 2 outs. And breaking ball, he swings, gets under it, flies, center fielder tracking it, and that will do it for the inning. but not before the Bulldogs add a third run. We have three innings in the books, folks, and the Bulldogs have a 3-run lead, 3-0. Dean Pons Jr. spinning a gem so far with 3 innings in the books, and no one's past first base. And almost headbutt due to Tenuta's throw-in. And really, the Bulldogs really capitalized there, because if that throw-in on that play had hit the cutoff man really wasn't lined up well either. He should have been a little bit deeper, and he could have caught it on the fly. If he was near third base, they would have had a relay play at the plate at least. You missed the cutoff man, and you have no play at home. Little errors. Those are the errors you can't make in the playoffs. Right now, we're not seeing those errors out of this Bulldog team. We haven't seen them very often. Right in front of me, I wrote down command presence, Dean Pons Jr., and that's what he's all about. His presence on the hill. He doesn't get visibly shaken whatsoever, even if situations aren't going his way. Thus far tonight, just about everything is going the way he wants it to go, because when he's on that hill, he controls the pace of the game. He truly does. He steps back 2 steps. In doing so, he gets his grip, and he goes up and comes at you. And I'll tell you what, when you're on base, he's got you completely bamboozled, because he can go with a full kick, he can go with a quick slide step, and man, if you're a runner or a batter, that totally throws off your timing. And he's got great accuracy with any of those options, and he's got great location with any of those options. So, that being said, he should be just about done warming up here for the 4th inning. And as I say that, Costa throws down a P, as he does at all times. Let me tell you, he's tough to throw on, tough to run on. And here we go, folks. We are in the 4th inning, marking the halfway mark of this ball game. We have an unhappy Tiverton Tiger team at the moment. You can tell number 16 stepping in to see if he can get things going for the Tigers. Bulldogs side of the field very excited here. There were a lot of nerves before the game, no doubt. These Bulldogs have high aspirations. And the pitch breaking ball in, and a nice one. Ended up right on his hands, rattled foul. Off the body of Costa as he walks it off, as he does everything else. He's the forgotten soldier, and the umpire telling Pons something. Checking the ball, maybe? There's so much movement on it. Maybe he wanted to check it, just, you know. He does throw pitches that are that impressive. So, the count 0-1, the inning top 4, the setting, quarterfinals, win or go home. Throw out your record, folks. All that matters is the score after 7 innings of play here today. The winner of that game moves on to play the winner of St. Ray's, Mount Pleasant. The Bulldogs have earned the right to play here at Similori Field. If they win today, they will play 2 out of 3 if 3 games are necessary. And that one's driven to center field deep. And it might have our center fielder be, and it does. And that ball is out of here. And he's signing his, oh, that's a ground rule double, I do believe. Home run he's marking. We have a dispute. They're calling a double, and it did look like a bounce double for me. Ground rule double. Bulldogs fortunate to the absolute deepest portion of the field, folks. And I got to tell you, I thought he got under it. I didn't even think that he got the whole thing. That's number 16, Jason Potvin. He's only a junior, and he hit that ball 370 feet, and it bounced over the fence. So the Tigers here today are coming up just short in just about everything. But we have a long way to go here. So they're right out of the gates here. They're in business. Leadoff runner on second. In scoring position. How does Pons answer? Full kick. Breaking ball. Nubbed. First baseman can't field it. Klein boops it. And the throw to first. And he's not ready for it. And the Tigers are going to be on the board. So they have a runner on first base. They have no outs, and they got a runner in. And we have a ball game, folks. Will this Bulldog team be shaken, or will they stand tall? Didn't really need to make the throw there. The runner was there. Stepping in is the catcher, number 25. The Tigers are in business. They're starting to roar. They had a run across the plate, 3-1, 2-run game. Anybody's ball game. That's an unearned run, but all that doesn't matter in the playoffs, folks. I'll tell you right now, Dean Pons Jr. don't care if they're run, earned, or non-earned. He doesn't want them to happen. And the steal, check swing, the throw. He is directly in the way of Costa. And that is a nice job by the batter of doing what you legally can do. You can hold your position and you can back out. Unfortunately, Costa couldn't get a line of vision. So with nobody out, the second run, the potential second run for the Tigers is in scoring position. Breaking ball, he hits it. Can Beckler handle it? Ground ball, fields it, throw to first. Klein handles it, so it's going to be a 6-3 put out for the Bulldogs. They needed that just to level things. No error there, no problems. They can calm things down here. So it's a simple ground out for the first out of the inning. The runner stays put. They need something like that right here out of number 12, which would be Jordan Pinnell. He's a junior. They would love a strikeout here. A pop out obviously works. And swinging on the first pitch, breaking ball, strike one. As shade starts to encompass the infield, but it's not all that bright. I don't think it will be a factor. Keeps the runner close, full kick. The pitch, breaking ball, and he gets it to third base, and that gets through his legs. And that's another error by the Bulldogs. That's going to keep the runner at third and plant the runner at first. They're in business. Runners on first and third. With one out here, folks, and one run in, we're in the top of the fourth inning. The Bulldogs 3, the visiting Tiverton Tigers 1, with a runner on first and third. Bulldogs ace, Dean Pons Jr. on the hill. You would want no one other. He's ready to go. He's going to go the minute he's allowed to. Number 5, that back, Kyle Rogers. He's only a freshman. Bulldogs would love a double play. And the pitch. Ball. Might have to lift it up a little bit. So this freshman taking his time, wisely in my opinion. And the kick, the pitch. And it's swung on, fouled off to the left. One strike, 1-1 the count. Only one out here. The corners are playing up for the Bulldogs. They're going to hold the runner if they can. Even if it just takes getting the one out, they don't want that run to cross the board. You got the middle at double play depth, wanting to end the inning with a ground ball. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball. A lot of movement he has got on that pitch today. I mean, that pitch started out, it looked like it was going to hit him in the shoulder. Ended up across the plate. You got to swing. 1-2. He's ahead. Ben, he goes to first base with it. Just keeping him close. 1-2 the count ahead of the freshman. Tough spot for any freshman to be in right here. But I'll tell you right now, momentum's in favor of the Tigers. The Bulldogs with a few mishaps. They don't play un-error-like by them. Swing and a miss, and he needs a strikeout to steal a second. Into center field it goes. And the runner's going to stay at second base. They do get the out, but the runner scores. 3-2 ball game, folks. We have a one-run game with 2 outs. And Dean Pons Jr. calls the team in here to calm them down. They got one run between them and their opponent, and their season hanging here, folks. Holy smokes, do we have some action on this Friday night at Similori Field in Westerly RI, only brought to you by Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. This is why we bring it to you, folks, because this is can't miss stuff right here. And the Tigers batter. Breaking ball in for a strike, number 42. Robert Wise, he's a senior. 2 outs, and they have the tying run in scoring position here. Just like that, the lead can disappear. Pons with his offering. On the inside portion of the plate, swinging a miss. That breaking ball right now is his money pitch. Both runs have been unearned by the Tigers, but you're going to take them. That's what costs people postseasons, folks. Breaking ball, swinging a miss, and Bonds took control. 4 pitches for the strikeout. The Bulldogs will head to the dugout now, folks, in the bottom of the 4th inning in what was a 3-0 smooth sailing lead. And now we got a whole new ball game. I guarantee the energy's back into this Tiger squad, this Tiverton Tiger squad. Everything's back. They now know that they can score against this Bulldog team, and you know what else they know? That they can make errors. They can make mistakes. They're infallible. They're not infallible is what I'm saying. So we got to see what we're going to see. We have this freshman. He's on the hill again here. He's looking for his 4th inning here against this Bulldog squad. He has only given up 3 runs. He's done a nice job since giving up 2 runs in the 1st inning. So here we are headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. Quarterfinal action, Rhode Island Division II playoff action, being brought to you by Westerly.live, brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live, Valenti Subaru, Wireless Zone, Stratedia, Remy's Cycles, Teddy's Toys, and McQuaid's Ace Hardware. Folks, the winner of this game heads to the semifinals, the Final Four, whatever you want to call it. The Bulldogs have earned, because of their regular season, home field for that semifinal best-of-3 series. So if they win today, they will host a game on Tuesday versus either St. Ray's or Mount Pleasant. If they lose today, folks, that's it. This campaign has been one heck of a ride, but I can tell you what, it will be a somber ending. But we're not going to talk about that because I have confidence in this squad, and I can hear it. I've seen them be resilient before. I've seen them trail before. So I have no doubt in this squad we're going to see some bounce back. Travis Costa, the catcher, to lead off for the Bulldogs. And he fouls back, straight back on a flat fastball over the plate for the first pitch. So 0-1 the count here. And the offering by the freshman. Ball. Good eye by Costa. Must have missed low. 1-1 count. Nobody on, folks. Similoree Field, 1-run lead. 2022 down to 1 run at the moment. 1 run lead, I should say. And he drives it to center field. He's tracking it. No, I don't think he's going to get there. He doesn't. He makes a misstep. And that's going to be a leadoff single, a deep one, but a single. And that wakes up the dugout. That wakes up their fans. That frustrates the pitcher. That does everything the Bulldogs needed to do. And here comes number 12, Drew Bozek, the center fielder for the Bulldogs. He got a hit stolen from him by the left fielder last at bat. So the leadoff man on for the Bulldogs. A quick answer, the catcher, Costa. On deck, the first baseman, Klein. At bat, we have Drew Bozek, as I said. And the freshman's first pitch, swing and a miss. Right there, he left it for him. Gets ahead of Bozek. Only a sophomore. And we're going to have a pinch runner come in for the Bulldogs. For the catcher, which is allowed.
Bulldogs want a pinch runner, number 6, Trey Rextis.
Trey Rextis in to run. And here we go. Bozek, 0-1 count. Checks him at first base, nothing there. Hadn't even really set his lead yet. Still fixing his helmet. Takes a slow primary. You got a chant coming out of the dugout. This team's alive. And he drives it to third. And he scoops it, and it's going to be a double play. He caught it in the air, and just like that, 2 outs, nobody on. And this Tiger team is alive, folks. I thought it might have hit the ground. If it did, it was so fast, it might have been a double play anyway. But they caught it, nothing Rextis could do. And things not going the Bulldogs' way at the moment. 2 outs just like that. Nobody on, 3-2. I haven't used the word momentum, but right now it's in favor of the Tigers. I say that because this freshman is doing really well on the hill, and they're doing all right behind him. When Ponce is on the rubber, there's no momentum against him. He is the word momentum. He is momentum. He sets the momentum. That's over the plate, swing and a miss. Back foot stepped out. Lost planted there. 0-2 the count, 2 outs, nobody on. Went from a leadoff single by Costa that quickly. Pitch down in the dirt, 1-2. So kudos to number 9 here. He's done one heck of a job, Rico, the freshman, coming into this Bulldog environment and hanging on for this 4 innings, looking to get 4 complete in the books here. He's only 1 strike away. The Bulldogs with 2, giving up 2 unearned runs, and now have a 1-run narrow lead. Good eye by Klein, 2-2 the count. He will make you work it back. He will take a walk. First baseman Klein, 2-2 offering. 2 outs, timeout by Klein, he steps out. Can a freshman go a complete game in this environment? I don't know what his pitch count is. He's thrown more than Pons. I know Pons can go a complete game. Who do they bring in when he's done? And a swing and the miss, and that's going to end the inning, and he's confident. He's leaving 4 innings with still plenty of juice in his box here. So we have 4 complete from Similori Field, and the Bulldogs take the field with a narrow lead, but a lead. And the score, Westerly 3 and the Tiverton Tigers 2. Only 3 more innings to go here, folks. Quarterfinal action. This is win or go home. This is do or die. This is winner take all, folks. These guys have put in a lot of work. I'm talking off-season work all year round since last year. 23 games this year. They set up games against the best opponents they could when they weren't in action in the league. They did everything they could do to be prepared for just this moment. So how do the Bulldogs react at this moment? I'll tell you what, at this moment, I would want the ball in his hands, number 7. That's to start. The fielding, they got to take a deep breath. They really do. They got to take a big, deep breath and let that all go behind them. They got to erase the last inning and play Bulldog baseball like they've played all year. And Pons is pretty much ready. And I don't even know if he'll throw too many full wind-up pitches. As I have a list here I definitely want to get to. This has been such a one-run game. There's so much to talk about. But Westerly High College signees, and there's a group of 9 of them heading to college, student-athletes from high school this year. And that's just phenomenal to see. 2 of them are on this team right here, Dean Pons Jr. and Greg Gorman. Headed to Rick is Dean Pons Jr., headed to Bryant is Greg Gorman. Well, I'll tell you what, they don't want their season to end yet. They don't want to think about college yet. They have more to do. And the pitch, the throwdown's on the money. And here we go, folks. We're down to 3 innings of play. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and the Bulldogs hold a lead, a narrow lead, though, at that. Number 7, Dean Pons Jr., giving his defense a little boost of confidence as he toes the rubber. And lefty number 2, junior Nicholas Mercer, steps in against Pons from the windup. The delivery and the first pitch is in for a strike. Nice job of framing there by Costa. Might have brought it in just enough. Well, 0-1 the count. And really, Pons has to take this inning himself. Breaking ball. Nice pitch. From off his shoulder to right over the plate. That's a tough one if you're a lefty. I would have never been able to hit that pitch, let me tell you. The 0-2. Fastball. Actually, that broke, and he didn't get the call. He's frustrated. He wanted it to. The umpire's not giving anything low. So the 1-2 count. He hasn't given anything remotely low all day. From up here, they look like strikes, but he's been consistent in that at least. I will say that. And the 1-2 pitch, strike 3. And Dean Pons Jr., he's fired up, folks. You can see he is fired up. And this team goes as Dean Pons Jr. goes. They really do. When he is on the hill, they go as he goes. And whenever he's on the hill, it's going well. So 1 up, 1 down in the 5th. That's Pons. Takes him down, chops him down, takes things under his own power and strikes him out. Number 9 up, Camden Rigo, the freshman, who reached on a hit in his last at bat and grounds one foul. First baseline, a breaking ball, 0-1, and Pons quickly ahead. Moving at his pace, a fast one. Congratulations to the Westerly girls softball team who had a fantastic season. They really did. And Dean Pons Jr., the 0-1 offering, is fouled off quickly ahead 0-2. They just finished up a fantastic season, a fabulous season. Such a young squad, a no senior team, only 3 juniors. They are going to be one heck of a team next year. Great following. And now follow the Wave Runners, the travel team for them. Breaking ball, not foul, and what movement on that Pons team. So Pons 0-2 ahead, 1 out. Pitcher, Rigo, freshman, at bat. And swings. That breaking ball got a lot of hook, but he gets just enough of it. And a nice little at bat. He's having a game here, this kid. This freshman. He's had to fight for it. And he's not done, it doesn't look like. Two shake-offs. And the third option, that's in the dirt, doesn't go. 1-2 the count. Right up on the plate is Rigo. That's why he's getting it out of his hands every time. And the breaking ball check swing hits the ground. He didn't go, I don't think. And he did go, and he's out. The umpire made a safe mark here at home plate. I'm not sure what he meant. But regardless, it's a strikeout. And he's thrown out at first, and that's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Dean Pons Jr. That's just a little amusing. The home plate umpire made the wrong sign, but we knew what was going on, and that's a K in the books. And Pons taking control here again in the 5th. Exactly what this Westerly Bulldog team needed, folks. I don't want this thing to be over. I can't imagine how much they don't want it to be over. And the pitch downstairs a little bit, 1-0. At bat, number 3. Caden Rigo, another Rigo. I'm going to have to say they may be brothers. Sophomore. We got a freshman and a sophomore. And he grounded to third. Takes it off one hop bobble. Throw across the diamond. Right on the mark for the outs of the Bulldogs. Respond with a 1-2-3 inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third. And the Bulldogs mow them down here as they get set to hit in the bottom half of the 5th. It's their form of the 7th inning stretch. And while we have a moment here, folks, we are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we try to bring you all the Westerly sports, and at least news from the Westerly sports that we can. And I'm really so impressed. I want to bring you the Westerly athletes competing at the collegiate level were recognized in a ceremony on Wednesday at the school, and they are Greg Gorman, Bryant University, Luke Marley, Bryant University, Jake Serra, who I have a little bit more to speak about as well. He's headed to Clemson, Carly Cretion, Kaiser University, Nick Cozzolino, Stone Hill, Hunter Armitage, Dean University, Dean Pons Jr., Rhode Island College, Braden Champlin, Hudson University, and Xavier Webster, UMass Dartmouth. And that's just amazing, and congratulations to all of those student athletes, all of them heading to the next level. And as we mentioned, we have 2 of those seniors on the field right now playing for this Bulldog baseball team. And we have a couple of other ones in other squads too. Hunter Armitage, he is on the volleyball team, and we'll be bringing you a volleyball game live 6 p.m. Monday night. And they had some first-round pass, and they were in a do-or-die battle themselves here on Monday night. And that will be their only action at Federico Gymnasium for the season. So if you want to see Bulldog volleyball, you tune in to Westerly.live Monday night. It's going to be your last chance, folks. And they have had a good season. So this pitcher definitely uses all of his pitches. And is it a different number here? And it is. We have a new arm on the hill, folks. As I finally look up from my little diatribe there, we have number 2, Nicholas Mercer, a junior, on the hill for the Tigers. And we'll see how the Bulldogs adjust. They have a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 5th inning here, folks. And the Bulldogs' mantra for the season, win the day. Win the day, win the day. That's what they're looking for today. And they I do believe it's going to be Nick Fiore. Yes, number 4. Nick Fiore leading off the inning for the Bulldogs. And they will flip the top and head to Dean Pons Jr. on deck. Always huge if Fiore can start out things with a hit for the Bulldogs. And you having Pons right behind him. He's batting .295, folks. That's a good, solid season, folks. 300 if you're 300 in your career, you're almost a Hall of Famer. So you got to understand, .295 is a real good season for the Bulldogs. And breaking ball stays up and in. Ball. 2-0 the count. Dean Pons Jr., 312 on deck. 2-0 the count. Bottom 5. Bulldogs 3, Tigers 2. And that is in there for strike number 1. Leaves that one alone. That was a hitter's pitch as the shade is starting to cross the mound. It has been an issue in the past as it does creep in. And he grounds it to third by the third baseman. And that's going to be a leadoff single by the second baseman. And he rounds first. And the Bulldogs are in action. Number 4, Nick Fiore. The senior says, I'm not done today, folks. Leadoff hit for the Bulldogs. That wakes up the crowd. The dugout has been awake all day long. They've been fighting and fired up, and they spin the top here with a man on first. The Bulldogs are in action. Dean Pons Jr. trying to help out his own cause. His bat's been a good one here tonight already. And number 2, welcome to Westerly Nation, his first batter, lines it down the third base line. So that is his introduction to the quarterfinals here in Rhode Island Division II playoff action. Not very welcoming by the Bulldogs, but us as Bulldogs love to see it. And keeps that runner at first. They know that they will go and they'll get that runner in scoring position the easy way via the steal. Good hitter at first as well, though. So Coach Pizzato may want to let him just swing the bat and move the runner that way. He squares the bunt, lays down a perfect bunt. Runner in at stand, that runner slow goes by because of the bunt, and the runner's going to stay at third, and we have the leadoff two-man on second and third. Dean Pons Jr., the pitcher, the collegiate pitcher, lays down an absolutely perfect base hit bunt. I mean, it wasn't a sacrifice bunt. He laid it down perfect. And they had no choice. They had to throw it to first base, try to throw out Pons. Throwing error puts two Bulldogs in scoring position with no outs in the bottom of the fifth. And that has definitely got to shake number 2 for the Tigers, Nicholas Mercer, who just entered the game. And now you get to face Zach Beckler, number 21, due to the intentional walk of Gorman. Second one of the day. Breaking ball downstairs. Nice stop. Prevented a run. Second time today, the .431 hitter. He's batted 89 times and 81 times he's hitting .431, and they're walking into facing him. That is respect for Greg Gorman for certain, but that could be a mistake because I've seen Zach Beckler make that hurt. Nobody out. Bases are juiced, folks. Playoffs here. The coach is going to the mound. Got to talk to everybody. This pitcher has got to be shook. Momentum was swinging, had swung. Bulldogs took it back. It was kind of even. I'll say it was a little bit level. The pitching change, folks, that unfortunately changed everything so far here for the Tigers as number 9, the freshman, takes over at third base. And we see number 2 here, Nicholas Mercer, in. And the first 3 batters he faced have reached base. They've reached base via hit, error, and intentional walk. So they've gotten on every way you can. And they got Zach Beckler. He's only batting .431, and you're down in the count 2-0 with the bases loaded and the best team in the state in your pocket here at Westerly. Best wishes. And he swings on it, nubs it off his handle. They're trying to track it. They can't find it. And that's going to drop in as a single. And I said the sun matters sometimes. He didn't know where it was. So the hit is going to keep them loaded. The run number 4 scores, and the Bulldogs are moving 90 feet at a time at the moment here against number 2, Mercer. Was that pitch change the demise of the Tiverton Tigers 2022 baseball team? I don't think it was just the pitch change. I think the Bulldogs were going to press all game long, and that's what they do. They pressure you for 7 innings. So just because they were only up a run, I don't think at any point did they feel as though they were in danger of losing. But I will tell you, it definitely nerve-wracking to see when the season's on the line, man, when they put in this much work. We want to see more. We want to see them get what they've earned, and that's to play right here at Similori next week. Up and in on Simmons, number 10. Rotates in at third base. Gets a lot of time at third base, I should say. Burdick playing there today. The 1-1 offering. And that's going to be low and away. Holds on. Pass balls, obviously score a run. So you got your leadoff hitter at first, the 2 hitter at second, 3 hitter at first. You got your Simmons up at bat right here with nobody out for the Bulldogs. Looking to break it open. The pitch is low. And now a bad pitch gives them just a freebie and space. And right here is where the Bulldogs need to bite. This is where they need to pounce, and this is where they generally do just that. Coach Pizzato, I can tell he's feeling it. He feels this is when it's going to happen. And the 3-1. Low and in. Takes the walked-in run. And that turns things into 5-2. A 3-run lead. And the bases stay loaded for the Bulldogs. We got Gorman at first, Beckler at second, at third, Beckler at second, Simmons at first, and Jack Tenuta, number 22, folks. .429 with 5 home runs, 4 doubles, 25 RBIs. And he can damage those vehicles out there in left field, folks. We have seen him do it. He is tied with Greg Gorman for the most home runs in the division with 5. Bulldogs just looking for any positive offensive output. Breaking ball stays in. No, called strike on the inside portion. 0-1. Nice pitch by number 2. That was a tough one. The infield in. They're in desperation mode. They're down by 3. There's nobody out. And the Bulldogs can stretch this thing with a hit. And that's low and in. 1-1. Tenuta, very, very bats with a lot of wisdom for a sophomore. He will make you work. He's one step ahead. He knows it's a chess game. He also knows that a runner will be plated if he doesn't throw a strike against him. The 1-1 pitch. And that's low. He's going to let him go. 2-1. This pitcher's got to earn this thing, and that's a tough spot. If you're in here as a pitcher, you got to lay one in over the plate now. And I don't know if you want to do that against Jack Tenuta. I can't even imagine him next year and the year after, but I'm excited. This is this year, and the time is now, and he takes the ball. 3-1 the count, so 3 straight balls by the junior pitcher. After walking in a run a second ago, he's in danger of walking in 2 in a row and making this a 6-2 ball game. And the Bulldogs now starting to chant from the dugout. They're having fun here, folks. Quarterfinals, Rhode Island Division II state playoffs, and he fouls it off. 3-2 count. There's no room for him. Nobody out. Payoff pitch. I want to be here Tuesday. I'll tell you that right now, and I know they do too. Takes his time, calls timeout, gets himself comfortable, and that's the baseball IQ. I was saying wisdom, whatever. It's just the baseball IQ that a lot of these players possess, and that's because of the coaching that they've had. And the pitch inside, turns on it, fly ball being tracked and caught in foul territory. Gorman's going to tag up, and he is going to score, and that is the 6th run in for the Bulldogs. So the Westerly Bulldogs take a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning and only 1 out. 2 runners on, so the sacrifice fly by Tenuta, another RBI and a great at-bat, which doesn't go down as an at-bat, but got the job done exactly what they wanted. So Westerly 6, the Tigers 2. What was swinging in momentum and energy has completely swung back to the Bulldogs' favor. A pitching switch and a 3-run right up the middle. Almost hits the umpire, and he's going to send him home. And the throw will not get there on time, and that's run number 7. Gets a little bit past the catcher. Costa gets to second. Simmons gets to third. Bulldogs have 7, 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position, and it's starting to get difficult here for the Tigers. Let me tell you, the vice grip is starting to tighten. Pons Jr. is only 6 outs away from getting his Bulldog squad into the semifinals with home field advantage here at Similori Field. Bozek at bat for the Bulldogs. First base vacant, 1 strike called. Bulldogs have a cushion. 5th inning, bottom of, 1 down, 2 on, 7-2 lead. So they switch pitches and 4 runs, and that's going to hit the ground in front of the second baseman, and he can't handle it. That's going to play to run, and that's going to move a runner to third. That makes it 8-2 Westerly. Runners are safe at the corners, and there is still only 1 out. And in for the Bulldogs, the senior, number 34, Braden Champlin. And I'm going to talk more about Braden Champlin. He was one of those athletes heading on to play college sports. And he was an Athlete of the Week winner way back ending February 19th. I looked back on some of the archives here, and I got Braden Champlin, a senior on the Wesley High Boys swimming team, finished 1st in the 100 freestyle and 2nd in the 200. He was also on 2 second-place relay teams. He was the Athlete of the Week ending February 19th. So congratulations to Braden Champlin, a multi-sport athlete heading to college. He's going to be a student athlete in college. Congratulations for him. And he's had a heck of a year with this Bulldog squad. I got to tell you, when they have called upon him, he's got a 400 average, folks. And when you got a lefty, you can come off the bench batting 400, you got another weapon on your team. And he's a superstar swimmer, obviously, so he's probably got great control with his arms, with the bat, obviously. So it took me to do a little bit of research to pull that out, but he has all year long. He's been at his craft, doing his thing, and now he's looking for a ring, and so the rest of the Bulldogs. They're looking to win the day, folks, and they're up 8-2 now. Just a second ago, it wasn't like this, and this is how the Bulldogs attack. They pounce, and it starts with their pitching. And they steal second. They throw directly at the shortstop. It kind of had the Bulldogs befuddled earlier on in the game one time, so they tried this time, didn't work. Runners now in scoring position, both of them, with only one out, 8-2. Champlin at bat, 3-0 count, first base vacant. Do you want to walk him? Do you want to walk him to get to any of these Bulldogs right now? They do walk him. So just like that, his on-base percentage. What is that? I might have that number on me. I don't know. I don't have that. But all I know is that he knows how to get on base and does his job when he's called in on. And he's been called in on almost every game. He's been called in 14 games, and he played 18 league games. So, and we have a second time out of the inning, so that means they're going to have to pull the ball. That's the rules. I think you can visit the mound twice, and you have to make a change. It went unfortunate, went kind of off the rails on Mercer there. The Bulldogs made quick adjustment after they made their pitching change, and it was 3-2 a blink of an eye ago, and now the Bulldogs have 8 and the Tigers have 2. There's only one out in the second inning, and the bases are still loaded for the Bulldogs, and a lefty three-quarter armor, number 22, in for the Tigers, and he is off roster. I don't have a number 22 to give you a name behind it, but that being said, I also wanted to bring up some Jake Serra, who I had mentioned. He is also going to move forward and be a college student athlete. He broke the school record in the 800 at Bishop Hendricken. Serra placed 5th with a time of 1:56.02, and he held the previous record. In addition to that, he received RIIL honors. Jake Serra received the Distinguished Achievement Award from the Rhode Island Interscholastic League. So congratulations to Jake Serra. That's just fantastic to see for the Bulldogs. And that accolade from the Rhode Island Interscholastic League goes on. There's about 3 pages on it, and I really can't get all of everything that it's about. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to get a few of his accolades in because he has accomplished so much in his 4 years in high school. It is beyond impressive. In addition to that, Nina Salino, she was also nominated by Westerly. And it's just these Westerly student athletes, it's all over the place. Representing Westerly in just the utmost. Jacob Serra is the leader every team needs, every coach wants, and every AD loves. Westerly Athletic Director Jamie Vitolino wrote in his nomination of Serra. So all those things said, getting out of the baseball diamond for a second. But we're back into the baseball diamond now, and we're going to go crazy again because this is quarterfinal playoff action, folks. Looking to get into the Final Four at home. When the last time that was, I don't know. I'll tell you on Tuesday if we make it then. The lefty down 8-2. First offering, swing and a miss by number 4. Didn't even want to see a pitch, just ran right after it. So Nick Fiore at bat here with an 0-1 count. The bases are loaded with 1 down. Bulldogs with a 6-run lead in the bottom of the 5th. The kick and the pitch. It swung on and missed. They got to adjust to the speed. There's a little bit slower of speed, so he's way ahead of it right now. Sit back on that back leg a tiny bit more here. I do think maybe the playoff game that the Bulldogs received a bye. See, that's why the bye in the regular season is important. That long haul has proved important because I do believe while the Bulldogs had their bye and the Tiverton Tigers had already played a do-or-die game to get in and then had to play a do-or-die game earlier this week, I think they just ran out of pitching. And not that I think that they could beat the Bulldogs, this Bulldog squad, with anybody on the rubber. Their closest game, the Bulldog with their ace, the Bulldogs still came out with a victory. But I just think they might have run out of gas a little bit here towards the second half of this ball game. They hung tight for a while. The Bulldogs just have too many weapons. And the swing. popped up, foul territory being tracked, and should be no problem. And he brings it in for the second out of the inning. Bases are still loaded. 2 outs, 8-2 score, bottom of the 5th inning, Similary Field. Quarterfinal playoff action, and the Bulldog dugout is happy. They're swinging free. They're spun the top of the order up. Dean Pons Jr., who more importantly is on the hill. He has had a little while in the dugout, but I saw earlier in the year, I actually paid attention to that as well during one game. The Bulldogs, I think, scored like 8 runs in an inning, and there was a 33-minute break between innings, and he came out the next inning, and he struck out the first 2 batters, and I think handled a ground out for the next batter. So obviously, the time duration of the dugout, doesn't affect him as well. So he takes strike 1, 0-1 the count, 2 outs, tricky little windup to get used to, just coming out of. Number 22, like I said, I don't have a name to go with him, which would probably mean he's young and maybe a JV competitor at times. And that one gets away and to ball, so 2-1 the count. A walk scores a run, and Dean Pons Jr. is aware of that, and will take it either way. He knows that. But it was all him. Not all him, but it was a lot of him. He stayed calm through the errors when the Bulldogs were not playing defense behind him, which did happen this game. We can't pretend it did not. The Bulldogs' defense was not as sharp as they need to be moving forward. They're a good team. They can overcome errors. They've proven that today. But can you do that when you're in the semifinals? And that goes off of Dean Pons Jr. He gets hit, and that'll bring in a run. That'll be run number 9. And the Bulldogs lead by 7. So they have overcome, I think, 3 errors, 2 at least, to now have a 7-run lead, and the crowd is starting to go wild now. And Greg Gorman is at bat with the bases loaded here in this quarterfinal matchup. You can't intentionally walk him a 3rd time, folks. Let's see what he does here. Lefty on lefty. I don't envy the pitcher for the Tigers. And the first pitch, breaking ball, and that's a single to left center. Beautifully hit right where it was pitched, and that'll bring in 2 more runs for the Bulldogs, and they throw it away, and both runners advance. So 2 more in the books, and 2 more on, and the Bulldogs can end this thing if they can plate another runner, I do believe. There's 2 outs, 2 runners in, and Zach Beckler at bat. Is it his turn now to get intentionally walked? They've intentionally walked Gorman twice to get to him, and now the base is open. Do they give him the base to C. Simmons? I don't know. I'm not sure of the postseason mercy rule. I know you got to get 5 innings in the regular season, and it's 10 runs. They're up by 9. And that pitch stays away. What a game, folks. What a game, what a game. I expected nothing less. I am so excited about next week. I shouldn't be talking about it early. I drive to left field right at the left fielder. And a deep drive. You can't hit it anymore on the button. Well played by the left fielder, but not before the Bulldogs erupt for 8 runs. And the score, Westerly 11, Tiverton 2. We are headed to the 6th. With that being said, we're going to head to a quick commercial, and we will be right back. we are back, folks, live at Similori Field. And oh my God, this environment, it is so fun. It is electric. There is truly no better place to be in the state of Rhode Island than right here tonight. And it's because this Bulldog team can come at you, and they're putting on another show. And it's with Dean Pons Jr. at the helm, on the rubber. Things got a little fishy, got a little sticky here for a little bit. The Bulldogs didn't play the cleanest defense, but they're good enough to overcome that because they have great bats, they run the bases, their baseball IQ in general scores runs. They have no quit in this team whatsoever. And with that adversity, that's when a pitcher like Dean Pons Jr. excels, and that's what he did. I remember him distinctly bringing his team in behind the rubber, talking to them, and since then, I don't believe we've seen an error, and now we've seen 8 more runs scored. So tell me that he doesn't have an effect on this squad, because I'll tell you what, he does. And the shade is now covered most of the field. It shouldn't be an issue anymore. Bulldogs are up by 9 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. Ace, Dean Pons Jr. on the hill. First pitch, breaking ball comes back in for a strike, and that's a beauty. And this is the quarterfinals, folks. Bulldogs had a bye. Tiverton had to play. Tiverton had 2 do-or-die games before this one. This is another do-or-die game. I don't know if they just didn't have enough in the tank really to hang with Westerly for 7 innings. They hung with them for a little while. A freshman on the hill, tough position for anybody to be in. But the Bulldogs fought to earn home field. And they have earned home field in the next round if they are to continue like this and get there. And that will start on Tuesday. And that, if I'm looking at the standings right now, Wesley is obviously number 1 in the league at 17-2. Woonsocket and Burrillville and Woonsocket's in number 2 from the other half. Burrillville and St. Ray's are tied at number 3. And then it goes on from there. Well, St. Ray's could be your next opponent. They're 15-4 on the year. So they have had a quality year on the other half of the division. So that, needless to say, you don't worry about any of that as a player or anything. All this team needs to do is keep doing what they're doing and slap that sign, win the day on their way out of the locker room like they're doing. And that's a nice hit. Evan Klein off of his foot. And so the Bulldogs are fortunate that Dean Pons Jr., I'm not going to lie, that Dean Pons Jr. is on the hill today and that the Tiverton Tigers kind of pitching went a little bit short on pitching because their defense is a little bit shy today. The Bulldogs are going to have to bounce back, and they know that. They know they're going to have to play better defensively next week if they want to move on. There's no question. No question whatsoever. I don't need to repeat that, but they are going to have to do it. So there's a runner on first base. The score is 11-2. The Bulldogs are leading the Tiverton Tigers, and Dean Pons Jr. obviously inadvertently strikes number 7, Devin Purini, the senior, in the calf. And Coach Pizzato is going to head out there and talk to Pons as Klein heads into the conversation. Fortunately, the Bulldogs exploded, folks. They exploded. And they now have a 9-run lead. If this was a 3-2 game, that error matters. It really does. And like I say, the offense has bailed them out a little bit. And I haven't seen phenomenal pitching out of this Tiverton Tiger squad, but I know, like I said, this is their 3rd game in a row. And so Westerly's long haul, that long road, may not always look like it paid off because they're playing in an elimination game right now, but it really did. They got that bye. They've had their break. They get to play at this field, and next week they get to come back and play at this field 2 out of 3 if needed. Fly ball to Gorman. He's tracking it. He's under it. Catches it coming in as you should. And the missile, he's going to overthrow third, but Pons backing up. Great job of backing him up, and that's going to just be a long out. And that was a cannon by Gorman from right field. Nice job tracking it, and 1 down for the Bulldogs. Runners on first and second, they remain.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 12, Jaden Pinnell.
So if things keep going this way, folks, we are going to have one exciting week next week. 2 runners on, 1 out. Pons' pitch inside, and he gets under it. Fly ball coming in. Gorman takes it, and no room to tag. 2 down, just like that. 2 men on, nobody out, and then the next 2 up, the next 2 down. And I do believe that was in 2 pitches. So Pons can mow you down before you know it. He can end an inning before you even realize what the heck happened. He will move that quickly. As soon as you step in the box, the pitch is pretty much crossing the plate. That's what I mean by controlling the pace of the game. He certainly does. Full kick delivery. Nice movement on his 2-seamer there for a strike. 0-1 count, 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. 9-run Bulldog lead. We are in the playoffs, folks. Playoff action, breaking ball for a strike. What a beauty. I didn't need the umpire's help on that one. For the right to go to the Final Four, folks, and it will be hosted right here at Similori Field. Game 1 on the 7th, Tuesday. Game 2 on the road, I do believe on the 8th. And they'll get, if needed, Game 3 would be on Friday the 10th, right here. But that's too far away. They got to win the day, and that's today. And there's areas, they got an 11-2 lead, folks. But there's areas that Coach Pizzato is no doubt going to talk to his team about that he really doesn't even have to because these players are so they know the game very well. They can't play just like this next week. They got to have 3 or 4 errors at the moment. And you can't really have that. The only reason you can tonight is because you got Dean Pons Jr. on the hill, and that allows you time for your bats to make adjustments. And the Tiverton Tigers didn't have, I don't think, any pitching whatsoever that could contend with the Bulldogs for 7 innings. They really didn't. I mean, everything went haywire, went off the rails when you took the freshman out. Oh, man, a swing and a miss. What a nice breaking ball by Pons Jr. Complete control there in the 6th. So we're through 5.5 innings at Similori Field, and Dean Pons Jr. executing what he always does, heading towards another victory. And I got to tell you, folks, those 2 runs are both unearned. So Dean Pons Jr. is, if necessary, looking at his 7th complete game of the season in the postseason, having given up no earned runs. So one heck of a game. And this college athlete next year, this Rick attendee, they're getting a beaut in Dean Pons Jr. because this is going to be a complete game, earned run shutout anyway, as far as that goes, unless the Tigers are able to somehow convert another run, and I don't see that happening. I really don't. So the Tigers, only 3 outs away from their season ending, and the Bulldogs can end it with 1 run this inning. So we can see what happens here. The catcher now suited up, ready to take the field. And this, I'll say this production one final time, folks, has been brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live, Valenti Subaru, Wireless Zone, Stratedia, Remy's Cycles, Teddy's Toys, and McQuaid's Ace Hardware. This is quarterfinal baseball action, folks. First 20-win team in a long time, folks. They're in the playoffs, and they came here alive. They earned home field throughout. If they can hammer this one shut, they will be here hosting Game 1 of a best-of-3 Final Four series for the right to head to Rhode Island College, the site of the Division II state championship, none other than Rhode Island College. Dean Pons Jr. would be pitching on his future mound. But just win the day, folks, right? We got to stay in the day, not get too excited. All right, so I'll get off the subject a little bit. I was talking about Athlete of the Week winners, so I want to mention Rachel Federico. Week ending May 24th, Westerly Track and Field. She's a multi-sport athlete, folks. She's a great athlete, and she's a junior on the Westerly High Track team. She finished first in the district at the Class B championships. She had a school record throw of 121.4 to take first place. She broke the previous mark of 111.7 by 9.9. Federico, Athlete of the Week, and week ending May 21st. That's a great job, and congratulations for the record-breaking throw by Rachel Federico. As I said, we see her in multiple sports. And in is Simmons. Shep Simmons at bat for the Bulldogs. First pitch comes in as a strike. Oh, and 1 the count here. 6th inning. Bottom of 11-2 the score. And swing and a miss ahead of it. Oh, and 2 the count here. To start, bottom of the 6th. Tiverton can't give up a run. That's off the outside corner. 1-2 the count. This Bulldog team came with a calm approach. And a ground ball up the middle. And it goes off of the shortstop. That's going to be an error. It was a hard hit, let me tell you, but that will go down as error, and Simmons will reach first. So the leadoff potential game-winning run is on first base, folks. And Jack Tenuta at bat, knowing better.
52, Jack Tenuta.
Who really, on that throw to third base, if you all remember from left field, that threw out the runner when the tide was starting to turn way back at a 3-2 ball game, that really did change the momentum of the ball game. It really did. It kind of halted their energy quite a bit, frustrated their coach, it frustrated their pitcher, and the pitcher happened to be the hitter at that point. So it really did change the whole game, him being able to make that throw and throw that guy out. And who knows? And he goes the other way with that one. Right fielder tracking and makes the catch. Back to first, Simmons retreats. Nice job of trying to go with the pitch, just doesn't get enough of it. One down, one on, 11-2, bottom six, Similary Field, quarterfinals, Rhode Island, Division II state playoff action. And folks, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio will be at Federico Gymnasium on Monday night, bringing you some men's volleyball action. If you can't be there, tune in, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. That will be your only opportunity to see this team in the postseason, folks. They've had a real good season. They've been on the edge of taking out the best teams in the league. So the sky is the limit for that volleyball team. We'll be bringing their action live on Monday night. And then off they go if they're victorious. And he drives it. Center field. He gets a piece. Deep, 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 deep. And did he catch it? He did not. It's over his head, and that's going to be, he's going to try to stretch it to three, and he does. Simmons in with a slide-in triple. Just over the head of the center fielder, who did a heck of a job tracking that and scooping it. Nice job in center field. So Simmons at third. What a piece did he get of that, let me tell you. Costa doing the job with the bat. And I think they want to give Dean Pons Jr. his complete game without a seventh inning even being necessary. Two runners in scoring position, only one needs to clear. The pitch, swing and a miss. Trickles by, not enough. They're not going to run on that anyway. Number 12, at bat, Drew Bozak for the Bulldogs. Tigers did come in and do a nice job. And a swing and a fly ball. If he tags, this will do it. To left field, and he is going to tag. And he's going to miss the cut down the line. And he comes in standing up. He's safe. And that's the ball game. The Westerly Bulldogs are headed to the Final Four, folks. And the crowd is going wild as the team meets at the middle of the field. This is playoff action, folks, and we haven't had a baseball team going this far with home field advantage in a long time. So if you haven't gotten on board, get on board now. Dean Pons Jr., another complete game victory. Neither of those two runs were earned. It's a complete game shutout on the books for him. The Bulldog offense in effect, and we will be back live. The Bulldogs will be hosting the winner of the St. Ray's Mount Pleasant game in the Final Four for the Rhode Island Division II state champion. Folks, home field advantage means a lot, and we here at Westerly.live, Westerly.radio will be bringing you Game 1 on Tuesday, 6 p.m. But before that, tune in Monday, 6 p.m., volleyball, Federico Gymnasium. I am the voice, Greg Morano, producer-owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing you Bulldog baseball, going to the Final Four, folks. Signing off.
Again, the semifinal series will be best 2 out of 3, or best of 3. Bulldogs will have home field advantage for 2 of the games. That series will begin on Tuesday, June 7th.